Welcome to another edition of 10 Count. I'm Steve Kim, joined by Michael Baca of UCN Live and Doug Fischer, the editor-in-chief of Ring TV. Mike, it was all Charlo all the time, and Erislandy Lara squeaking out a unanimous decision over Martirosyan. Mike, I don't know, do my eyes deceive me, but Lara looks to me like his legs aren't what they were a couple of years ago. He looks more stationary and therefore more beatable. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, and alluding to that point is Vanis was touching up Lara's body in the first round?
Yeah, he got to him pretty quick.
Yeah, and
Martirosyan, not a pressure fighter.
He's
not known for his ring cutting ability.
Not at all.
A talented guy, good boxer, but he's a boxer.
Not a puzzle to solve. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
he's pretty straight and narrow. But yeah, we saw that. But at the same time, I don't think Lara really was in any danger the entire fight.
The whole night, Doug, I'm thinking to myself, I thought Lara was there to be had, there to be pushed off a cliff. But isn't this the story of Vanis' career? Spend more time bitching and moaning about a decision than actually doing what's necessary, that little extra 2% that sometimes you need against a guy with slightly more talent. I just knew it. As soon as the fight was over, I said he's going to lose a close decision and he's going to complain about it bitterly.
Well, yeah, and the referee kind of helped that by that.
Oh, Dracula, sucking the blood out of that fight. Jeez.
Which didn't have a lot of blood to begin with. I mean, it wasn't a good matchup. It's not. I'm not saying that they're not competitive, but it wasn't an entertaining style meshing between Lara and Martirosyan. Martirosyan is very talented. He was a U.S. Olympian. Steve, you've seen him in the gym when he trained at Wildcard Gym.
Gym fighter.
Yeah, and you see like flashes of somebody who could have elite potential as a boxer in the gym. But whenever Martirosyan has stepped up to the big stage and in the spotlight, either in a main event or a co-featured fight on HBO or Showtime, he underperforms.
You know what I
and
call
going way back, remember when he fought Joe Green
and
on the undercard of the Cotto-Yuri Foreman
that
fight?
Was a style issue, but every time he's on the biggest platform, you know what I call him? Warning track power. Because, he never hits it out of the park.
Okay.
And even in this fight, he's in the inside, he's right in position, and he puts the earmuffs on. And then he allows Lara to scamper away. And if you look at a fight that's 8-4 in rounds, if you win 2 other rounds, that's 6-6. And some of those rounds, I really thought if Lara would have thrown 4 or 5 more punches or less punches, or if Martirosyan sticks on the inside, just touches the body.
He just needed to stay. When he got in range and he was able to tag the body, as you noted, Michael, with his left hook repeatedly, he needed to follow up a little bit more. He needed to either stay in the grill or throw more combinations. But that's really not who he is. I mean, he's a boxer. He's a stand-up, classic 1-2 jab right hand boxer, and he can be in good fights if he's presented with an aggressive opponent. And guess what? Lara is anti-aggression.
Mike,
he's just effectiveness, and he's fine with that.
Yeah, Mike, did either Charlo impress you at all? I guess not.
I thought Jermall Charlo. It was Jermall, right, over John Jackson.
Yeah.
To win the.
I thought he looked
vacant,
ordinary.
The vacant WBC title.
You like the way he closed the show.
I like the way
obviously.
he closed the show. Yeah, he was getting beat just by a standard Jackson jab. Plenty of lateral movement. Yes, absolutely.
And quicker hands on the inside.
Jermall could not cut off the ring at all.
Boxers don't like boxers, Michael. And one thing I've noticed, no, it's true. As great as everyone says Floyd Mayweather is, he's been very careful about being in the ring, sharing the ring with fellow stinkers. He never wanted to fight a Joel Casamayor. You know he would never step in there with an Erislandy Lara. They're not pressure fighters. They're not guys who go out.
They're not methodical.
And track down somebody who's going to be mobile and elusive, just as they often are. And what I've noticed in Jermall's past, I remember he fought a journeyman boxer named Deshaun Johnson. Did not have an easy time. This is back in 2012. 2013, he fought Demetrius Hopkins, a cagey technician related to
One
Bernard.
of the worst fights in
Oh,
Hub history.
It was dreadful.
I mean, I still remember Andre Berto getting it into it with Mexican fans, and that actually had more action in that 30 seconds.
That's right, because it was before he fought JSK.
Yeah, Jesus Soto Karass.
Right, so I did the international broadcast for that. I actually scored that fight for Demetrius Hopkins.
What? Really?
Nobody cared that it went 115, 113 for Jermall Charlo because the fight stank so much, and it was Jermall Charlo who was the aggressor who was stepping forward. But my point is, I thought he had some problems with Martirosyan, as a matter of fact, when they fought last year. He has problems with boxers. He's going to look his sharpest, just like Martirosyan, when he's in there with a stationary or come forward opponent.
I'll say this, guys. I think the best 54-pounder, if you don't include Canelo, because, again, we're not really sure what he does. I think Liam Smith has some ability, but the dark horse, and basically everyone on this Showtime card on Saturday, at least 5 out of the 6 guys, basically found a way to say thanks, but no thanks. Maybe we'll see you next week or next year or never. J-Rock, Julian Williams.
Yeah.
I think he is the dark horse. I think he might be the most talented all-around fighter in this division.
I'd like to see him fight either Charlo brothers. You know, they have the titles now.
They don't.
They've made history.
One of them
They're
has
twins.
to, though. One of them has to, though, with the mandatory situation.
Jermall.
Right.
With the
And
IBF.
I'll tell you this much about Jermall. I wasn't that impressed with his 12-round decision over Austin Trout. Both guys didn't commit enough to their offense for my liking. You know, Charlo would land a big right hand and then just take a step back and wait, and then Trout would land a big left hand and then take a step back and wait. But he was obviously the fresher, bigger, and he tried to be the aggressor in that fight. He looked like a middleweight to me. Like he has grown in to that tall, rangy, lanky 6-foot frame, and he used to look skinny. Now he looks big to me. I don't know what he's rehydrating to, but he looks like a middleweight to me. That size is going to be an advantage for him. But I would love to see him with his size, his speed, his power, try to impose his will on somebody as technically and fundamentally sound and as tough and gritty, Philly grit, as Julian Williams.
And the one other takeaway that Charles Hatley needs to distinguish between Jermall and Jermell. All right, well, that's it for this edition of 10 Count. On behalf of Michael Baca and Doug Fischer, this is Steve Kim saying goodbye, everybody.